So there's this condition called prosopagnosia, face blindness. When people can see just fine, they can see things, they can say, oh, that's a bottle, that's a pen. But when they see faces, they cannot see anything. They're like, don't recognize it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look into what this is a bit more in details. And at the end of this video, we're going to do a little test or like a little challenge so that you guys can sort of be in these people's shoes so you can understand a bit what it feels like to have prosopagnosia. So let's look at the definition. Prosopagnosia, also called as face blindness, is a cognitive disorder of face perception in which the ability to recognize familiar faces, including one's own face, is impaired while other aspects of visual processing remain intact. Apparently it affects this area of the brain. Let's have a look. Yeah, this part. And it means like people can see that you have eyes, a nose, a mouth, but they cannot make anything of it. It's just like, yep, okay, it's a person. But if you leave the room and come back, they'll be like, I have no idea who you are. Can you imagine? Hey, what's up, Mike? Hey, it's me, your brother. Oh, right, yeah. And so they look for other cues. They look for other things to recognize people. It's either their hands moving. So if you have like an Italian friend, they'll be like, hey, man, how are you?
Go over here.
And then that way, they'll recognize people. Or they look at their hair a lot. So if you have a crazy set of hair, they'll be like, yeah, that's definitely Bob. Yeah, classic Bob. So that means if you wear a hat, then they have no idea who you are. Hey, what's up? Or they look at your entire body or the way you walk. That's the only way that they can recognize you, basically. Or unless you actually tell them, hey, this is me. How are you doing? So imagine that everyone is a stranger. Like a sea of people, everyone is a stranger to you. Well, when you see somebody face to face that you've met many times before, you have no idea who they are. That's terrible. Apparently soldiers who came back from the war had it. I guess it's a shock to the system, a shock to the brain, where they wouldn't recognize their own family members. Or most people, they're actually born with it. So let's pedal back here. Let's see, how does this work? So here's an example. Take a look at this. So you see all the lines and you could reproduce it, right? You could look at it and you could be like, yeah, I can draw this back, no problem. But you have no idea what it means. I mean, unless you're Chinese or, you have no idea what it is. But you can recognize the lines. So this is a bit like what face blindness is like. So if you have it, basically a bit like Hollywood, where everyone is like, oh, nice to see you. They have no idea who you are. You met them before, but just to be safe, you just say, oh, nice to see you. That way, they're not offended. If you just don't remember their face, you go, nice to see you. Like, dude, we've never met. But if you say, nice to see you, then yeah, it's not a problem. So some celebrities have it. Not many big ones, though. Apparently, actor Brad Pitt has it. Oh, sorry. This is a little teaser for the end of this video, where we're going to do the little test. So, sorry, just forget it. So apparently he has prosopagnosia. I'm not sure if that's true. I don't know how severe, though. He said he has it, but I don't know. It's unclear. Then there's the opposite of this. There's people who are super recognizers. I mean, they can recognize any random people. They've seen them once 20 years ago and they'd be like, yeah, that's you. I remember you. Now, that's super creepy. So let's have a look at examples of people who have it and how it basically works.
We showed Jacob faces without hair. A pure test of facial recognition.
No.
So that guy doesn't recognize Will Smith. You and I can both know, oh, that's Will Smith, but he doesn't recognize him.
Oh, Lord.
Again, Michael Jordan, no idea who he is. And that's because I guess they crop, although he doesn't have any hair, but they crop the face. And then so if you showed the entire body and show him like in a Bulls jersey, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's Michael Jordan. Or he would guess that it's Michael Jordan because he could be anyone else from that team. But so when you show just the face, he has no idea who he is.
He just can't recognize their faces.
No, that's just impossible. I mean,
Elvis, yeah, you should know who he is, but no idea. He doesn't put anything together. It's really tough for these people because they think you're being rude, but actually, no, I just don't recognize your face. And for most people, it's so hard to grasp. What do you mean you don't recognize my face? I was just here like an hour ago. How did you forget me? Well, it's because they never registered your face. It never registered.
Does anybody know who that is? Joe? Work on it. Because it's somebody that Joe knows. It's your daughter.
So it could be quite tragic. As you can see, this woman doesn't recognize her own daughter. So the way it affects the brain, it could be either like a lesion, so you got hit, or there was some kind of damage to your brain, or you're just born with it. So that means that area of the brain is not fully formed and you just don't have that little piece of equipment that helps you recognize faces. That area of the brain is called fusiform gyrus. Gyrus? Oh, like the sandwich. So speaking about celebrities, I guess he's sort of a celebrity because he's a famous artist. Chuck Close, he's a famous painter. He can paint portraits, amazing. So the way he works is he basically looks at one aspect of your face, and from that part he can be like, oh yeah, that could be this person. But that works with celebrities because in this case, let's have a look. He looks at Jay Leno.
From the chin, I think it's Leno.
And he can see, you know, his enormous chin, and he'd be like, ah, that must be Jay Leno. And he guesses every time. And he guesses right. But it's only from looking at one part. So somehow the brain doesn't put the lips, the chin, the cheeks, and the eyes together. Everything is sort of separate.
Well, from the lips, I think it's Tiger Woods.
Yeah, well, you're pretty good.
Okay, so let's do a little test, because I'm sure you've been watching this video and you'd be like, how can this be? There's no way. That makes no sense to me. I look at a face and I recognize it instantly. You know, how does that even work? Well, let's do a little test. So I'm going to show you faces of famous people, some more famous than others, but you should be able to recognize them, especially if you're on YouTube a lot. I'm going to show you pictures of famous people upside down for a split second. So don't cheat. Don't just like pause and turn your screen around. Don't do that. And then what I want you to do is in the comments below, just answer who you had right and who you had wrong. And if you see the results in the comments, just answer like, oh, I had that one, I didn't have that one, etc. So we could see how you guys are doing. So are you ready? Okay, I'm going to show you the first one. And oh, don't cheat. Okay, who was this? Pretty famous. Pretty famous. Who was this? Write it on a piece of paper, and then you can put it in the comments below. Okay, second one. Oh, who is that? Very famous, very famous. Depends how old you are. If you're above 40, that's gonna be tough. Okay, third one. Oh, you see. Now, when there's a little Q here, as soon as there's a little Q with the hair, then it should be easier to recognize who that is. Okay, final one. And, oh, again, who was this? All the Q in there that should help you, but, you know. Well, that's the end of the test. I can't wait to see how you guys did in the comments. I think some were pretty easy. Others were pretty hard. I mean, it's easy for me to say because I picked the pictures, but, you know. So according to this article, 1 in 50 people have it. So, and you might not even know you have it. Do you have it? I can't wait to see how you guys are doing. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button, and I'll see you guys in another video.